With SRN News, I'm Keith Peters in Washington. Authorities have arrested more protesters in the January disruption of a St. Paul, Minnesota church service.
30 additional people are being charged over the January 18th anti-ICE protest at a St. Paul, Minnesota church that led to the arrests of Don Lemon, Georgia Fort, and local activists. U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi announced that most of the protesters were already in custody. 39 people now face charges of conspiracy against religious freedom and interfering with the right of religious freedom. A lawyer for City's Church praised the Justice Department for charging more people, saying the First Amendment does not give anyone license to storm a church and intimidate families. Protesters focused on the church after learning a pastor there is also an immigration enforcement official. I'm Jennifer King.
The Pentagon is cutting ties with Columbia, Yale, Brown, and others it accuses of wokeness.
The Pentagon will forbid members of the military from attending Columbia, Yale, Brown, and other universities starting next school year amid a campaign to cut ties with institutions that Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth called factories of anti-American resentment. Hegseth announced the policy in a video posted to social media Friday, 3 weeks after he said the military was cutting ties with Harvard University. Without citing evidence, Hegseth said the universities have been breeding grounds of toxic indoctrination that undermine military values. I'm Julie Walker.
President Trump says the United States is talking with Cuba and raised the possibility of a friendly takeover of the island without explaining what that means. Trump told reporters on Friday that Secretary of State Marco Rubio is speaking with Cuban leaders at a very high level, but the White House offered no further details. On Wall Street, the Dow down by 521 points, the S&P 500 lower by 30. This is SRN News. The Pew Research Center looks at black families in America.
The study finds that African Americans are more likely than other racial groups to think of at least one non-relative as a member of their family. And black people who are religious are the most likely of all. Pew reports that roughly 60% of black Christians say they have a non-relative they consider family, compared to 53% of religiously unaffiliated black adults. The survey also finds shared faith is key to who gets to be included in African American families. Michael Harrington reporting.
It's been nearly 4 years since the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade, and polls indicate public opinion has remained relatively stable on abortion. 63% of Americans say abortion should be legal in all or most cases, compared with 36% who say it should be illegal in all or most cases. In 34 states and the District of Columbia, more people say abortion should be legal than say it should be illegal. SRN News. President Trump is not happy with the status of Iran nuclear talks. White House correspondent Greg Clugston reports.
The president told reporters he's not thrilled that Iran hasn't agreed to U.S. demands as the two countries hold negotiations over Iran's nuclear program. He said he's not happy, but we'll see what happens after additional talks. Tensions remain high after indirect talks in Geneva on Thursday failed to reach a breakthrough and as American forces gather in the region. Greg Clugston, Washington.
Neil Sedaka, the million-selling singer and songwriter, has died. His many hits included Breaking Up Is Hard to Do, Calendar Girl, and Oh Carol, a lament for his high school sweetheart Carole King. Among those covering his work were Elvis Presley, Frank Sinatra, and the Captain and Tennille. More details at srnnews.com. From Washington, I'm Keith Peters.
The point now, when somebody starts arguing me, prove your facts. I go, now.
All right, what do you say, Joe? What do you say to that?
You didn't prove yours. Mine you can find at the CDC or on the FBI website. You need to do your own homework. Because when you spoon feed them, even when you do that, they tell you you're wrong, even though they have nothing to back it up with. Just like AOC, nothing. I'm going to deal with topics and issues that will make you think. The lines are open. You can reach me at 855-REAL-JOE, 855-732-5563.
It's the Joe Messina Show.
We're back at it again. Joe Messina, your host. Always a pleasure to have you with me. 855-REAL-JOE, 855-732-5563. Look, get involved.
Get involved. I'll do it in English here. Hold on. Get involved, get engaged, be part of the solution, right? When you're informed, when you have a clue as to what's going on, it's easier to get engaged. It's easier to have a conversation that you really don't feel weird over because you don't have enough information to really be part of the conversation. We've all been there. There's no reason for it. Okay? This is one place you can easily get informed. Got a lot of stories, a lot of things to go through. To come up on the weekend, usually on Fridays you get like a massive dump of news stories, and the reason they do that is so that you don't have time to respond to them, right? And you don't have time to really read through them all to talk about them. So anyway, I love Fridays for that reason. Now, some of you've already heard, some of this anyway, is that Pete Hegseth is now cutting ties with colleges that push a woke agenda. So, Secretary of War Pete Hegseth announced a sweeping move to end Department of War attendance at any league and elite universities that have become hotbeds of woke indoctrination. Now, Friday, Secretary Hegseth announced that the Department of War is officially cutting ties with the woke Ivy League elites who have spent decades poisoning the minds of our nation's future military leaders. No longer will the American taxpayer dollar be used to subsidize institutions that hate the very country our soldiers swear to defend. He went on to say, far too long, the Ivy League and similar institutions have been subjecting our warriors to woke indoctrination. Those days are over. There's no reason for them. He's right. There is no reason for them. For years, the radical left has used professional military education to push a curriculum of contempt. Hegseth is putting an immediate stop to it. I don't blame him. Look, why do you give money to countries who hate us? We went through this once before. Why do you give money to countries who hate us? Why do you associate with people who can't stand you? These professors who hate this country, stop paying them in American dollars. Ask them, what country do they love? What country do they believe is the best at whatever? You can pay them in those dollars, rubles, whatever. It's really funny how these educated types, you professors, I know you don't listen to me, but somebody will tell you about it anyway. You really have, I don't even know what to call it. I don't have my degree in psychology, so I can't say it. But you're on American soil and in a school built here in America, in the U.S., right? You're paid by U.S. dollars. You're protected by a police force, right, based on the U.S. laws. You have protection for your job. You have protection for your life. You have protection for your freedoms based on what? The U.S. Constitution. See, for too long, I think you guys had too much handed to you. You don't know what it's like to fight for anything. And you put these crazy ideas in young people's heads, and then they get out there. What happens? They can't get a job. They can't get a job because they've taken a class in, lesbian basket weaving courses or something. It's just ridiculous, the stuff you give these kids. It's ridiculous, the stuff that we're paying for these kids to go to college for. And the vast majority of the kids getting out of high school in this country can't read at grade level. Their reading and comprehension skills are in the toilet. And you just keep talking about how much you hate this country. The same country that protects you, your job, allows you to own a home. Professors, you get paid well. You know it. You should have to report to your kids what you get paid, what your contracts are. They should be very public for all those kids. And maybe when you start talking about socialism, they'll stop listening to you because they'll see what a hypocrite you actually really are. Anyway, so I wouldn't spend a nickel of my taxpayer dollars to pay for your colleges for any reason. And as bad as this sounds, and God forgive me, you people in New York, You need to crash and burn. We're done with you. Why should we keep bailing you out when you keep voting for the wrong people? You keep voting for the people that allow your crime to go up. You keep voting for look, you've been voting for Marxists/socialists for 4, 8, 12, over 12 years. Where'd it get you? What has it got? Now you're really in a bad way. Now you've got somebody who truly believes in Sharia law. Now you've got somebody who truly doesn't want to protect the police. Let's see what happens to you as your little girls and your wives even, right, are being assaulted in the streets. And don't say, oh, that's such a racist thing. Bullpuckies. Go look at the cities that are being taken over by these groups and tell me it's not happening. Right, really that simple. Hexa said there should exist a sacred trust between America's institutions and our warriors. Should be a trust that demands that we develop our finest military leaders with the highest standards so that they are equipped to fight and win our nation's wars with absolute lethality, from basic training to the halls of higher education. With all that said, we need to get away from them, and I agree. Joe Messina, your host. Don't go far. A lot more coming up after the break.
Take as little as 3 minutes to see if you could save on motorcycle insurance with Progressive. Come on, you've spent more time than that trying to name your bike.
How about the Crusher? I guess it's not really crushing anything. The Silver Bolt? No. Oh, what about Pepper? Mysterious. Is it a pet or a condiment? Surprise! It's a motorcycle. No, that's stupid.
Get a quote in as little as 3 minutes at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
I'd like to introduce you to our new sponsor, Get the Tea. Get the Tea carries all natural, non-GMO organic teas and supplements made in the USA. Get the Tea's ingredients are the purest available. My favorite is Life Change Tea. Life Change Tea is a gentle daily cleanse containing 12 herbs that, when combined, really keep things moving. I drink it every day, and my energy has never been better. I'm feeling great. Life Change Tea comes in 3 delicious flavors: natural, peppermint, and pomegranate. It's an easy and delicious way to keep your digestion on track. And for those on the go, try D365. D365 is Life Change Tea in a capsule. Drink the tea or take D365 capsules and keep your digestion running smoothly. Go to getthetea.com and enter discount code USA to get 10% off any size order. That's getthetea.com, discount code USA for 10% off your order.
When I started MyPillow, it was just a problem solution, one product company. Well, since then, with the help of my dedicated employees, we now have hundreds of products, some you might not even know about. To get the word out, we're having a $25 extravaganza. 2-pack multi-use MyPillows, $25. MyPillow sandals, $25. And for the first time ever, our 6-pack towel sets, you guessed it, just $25. Our brand new 4-pack dish towels, $25. And I've never done this before. Premium MyPillows with all new Giza fabric, any size, any loft level, even king size for only $25. And there's so much more.
So go to MyPillow.com or call 800-923-1812 and use promo code AUDIO1 to get the standard MyPillow for only $14.88, the lowest price ever.
Okay, I'm talking funny because I'm in the witness protection program. I have too much credit card debt and I don't want people to find me.
Okay, I'm just kidding. We're going to talk about credit card debt. Right, those plastic things that we all have in our wallet. Are you in your 50s or 60s and you're still carrying around a mound of credit card debt? Wouldn't it be nice to start banking that money and save a little money for retirement down the road? We help people restructure their credit card debt all the time. We show people how they can get out of credit credit card debt in months, not years. Listen, you'll be carrying around credit card debt for the rest of your life unless you deal with it right now. We offer a free consultation so you can learn how you can finally wipe out your credit card debt and start saving money. Give us a free call right now.
Call Debt Solutions Network now. 866-451-3328. 866-451-3328. That's 866-451-3328.
If you're a diabetic, we have great news. You can end the painful finger sticks with a new CGM. Plus, they may be covered by Medicare, Medicaid, or private insurance. If you test and inject daily, you may qualify. Call US Med now to learn more.
800-471-7065. 800-471-7065. 800-471-7065. That's 800-471-7065.
Attention. This is a public notice from the Social Security Disability Helpline. If you're one of the millions of Americans who are disabled and unable to work, you may be eligible for disability benefits from Social Security. Receiving benefits is your right. If you suffer from physical or mental disability, whether you're applying for the first time or you've already been denied, we can help. We'll evaluate your situation and deal with Social Security on your behalf. Best of all, there's no fee until you receive your benefits. Remember, we only get paid if you win your case. There are many reasons and conditions that may make you eligible for disability benefits. Many of them you may not be aware of. So if you're disabled and unable to work, call now to get started with your free, no-obligation consultation.
800-362-9337. 800-362-9337. That's 800-362-9337.
Can't you see what I'm trying to tell you? I love you. Why don't you marry me?
Why, marry you?
You take me and I'll take a vacation. I'll need a vacation if we're going to get married.
We are back. Joe Messina, your host. Always a pleasure to have you with me. I thought we'd have a little, very little, Friday night entertainment. What do you think? No, really. Joe Biden. Look, I said it the other day and I meant it. I wasn't joking. I really do feel bad for him. And I say that because there is... this poor guy doesn't know where he's at. And these people are still doing stuff to him they ought not be doing. It's just wrong at so many levels, you know? So Joey, I guess they still have him out there doing speeches. I mean, anybody else find that absurd other than me? He doesn't know where he's at. Being around people with Alzheimer's and dementia myself on several occasions, you can see in his face that he's lost, frightened, right? So Joe Biden delivered remarks at an event hosted by the South Carolina Democrat Party at the Columbia Museum of Art. Hey, he slammed Trump. He did his normal stuff. Let's take a listen, if we can. Doesn't always work the first time. What do you want from me?
Listen up, men. Ditch the blue
here we
pill.
go. Don't
this
you
stuff
love it?
works.
Anyhow, I'll bring it up as soon as this finishes. This is ridiculous. So again, when you hear him speak, you can hear the issues.
I appreciate you. Welcome to South Carolina, Biden.
He grabs his woman's iPhone or iPad and freezes. He doesn't know what to do. He probably doesn't even know what it is.
If you want to get closer.
Now, I know it's radio. You can't see it. I got it. But I got to say to you, even so, when you're watching what's happening, He's lost. He's totally lost. And then when he gave his speech later that evening, Joe Biden delivered remarks at the event hosted by the South Carolina Democrat Party at Columbia Museum of Art. He slammed President Trump and blamed COVID for the border crisis. I thought, no, Joe, you blamed it on not having enough money, remember? Joe said he did a fantastic job. He closed the border, not President Trump. These people were lying to him. And look I'm not trying to cut him any slack, don't get me wrong. But look, they were lying to him. No way around it. And he was buying it because, he's got his medical condition he's going through. If he really believes that hold on, let me see if I can get the audio on this, because if I can get the audio, you'll know it's not me. Right? At least you'll know it's him. Take a listen.
Around the world, despite everything you read, despite the fact that COVID drove migration to record levels all around the world, the day I left office, border crossing into the United States were lower than the day that I entered that office inherited from Trump.
Not true. Somebody fed him a blatant lie, and you know it.
He is, I won't say it.
Well, you can't, because you'd be lying now, wouldn't you?
That's just a fact.
Maybe in your demented world, yes.
On the day I left office, I handed Trump the strongest economy in the world. In the world. That's not hyperbole. That's a fact.
No, not quite, Joe. I'm not going to go through it. I'm not going to keep repeating it over and over again. But listen, they keep saying it. I don't know if he's flat out lying because he truly believes it, or this is what his team told him. It's very possible this is what his team, his handlers, keep telling him. Right? Just amazing.
This is what 90...
Right? And again, I don't know if he believes it or not. So, anyway, when Biden went off again on a slurring rant about Trump, at the address, and let him have it on the address. This is just hilarious. So, I don't know what he was trying to prove. I don't know what, we even said when Trump did the speech, please, please, please don't talk about the stolen election. Don't talk about how they rigged the election. Don't talk about any of that stuff. You know what I want you to do? I just want you simply to talk about what and how you're doing. That's it. No more. Okay, let's hear this slurred rant.
And by the way, to see Trump give the State of Union, that's the last time. Is he still talking? I don't know.
Okay, that was funny, because that's very Trump.
Folks, it's unbelievable. The guy talks for almost 2 hours.
Yeah, Joey can't stay awake for 2 hours at a clip between his naps.
But never mentions the anniversary of Putin invading Ukraine. Never once.
And how and when did that happen, Joey? Who did that happen under? Who did Ukraine take a beating under? Right? You heard Trump. Well, you probably didn't hear anything. And let me see. Biden took a jab at Trump's speech, longest in the history of the Union. So he says it's unbelievable the guy talks about 2 hours but never mentioned the anniversary of Putin invading Ukraine. Never once. He continued, and he referenced to the fourth anniversary of Russia's invasion of Ukraine when Biden was president. They knew. Look, many leaders said afterward they did what they did because they knew that the U.S. was weak under Biden. They knew that Biden was weak. I mean, one of the lines that Trump could have put in his speech would have been something like, let Let me see. Trump could have said something like 4 years ago today, under the crooked Joe Biden, America was so weak that Russia invaded Ukraine. That would have shut them all up, because it did happen. Right? I mean, really, seriously, he should have brought up Biden's failure in the Afghanistan withdrawal and what it's left him. And Joe Biden going through and making fun of him, photographer too. I told you, I thought that was funny. You know, and Biden took a phone of a woman in a wheelchair and didn't know what to do. He doesn't even know why he took it. I'll be back in a few minutes, so go for it.
Attention homeowners. It's not if something's going to break, it's when. That's homeownership. If your dryer, your refrigerator, or your AC and heating breaks, that's an expensive call. And who do you call? Make it easy on yourself and call Choice Home Warranty. We've already done the research and have access to 25,000 technicians that can be at your home quickly. We've covered close to 2 million homes in the United States. There's a good chance your neighbors work with us. Call us right now before the next breakdown. We'll tell you everything that's covered in your home and give you the first month free with our ironclad 30-day money-back guarantee. Call now and learn how to get your free month.
800-378-2250. 800-378-2250. 800-378-2250. That's 800-378-2250.
Limitations and exclusions apply. First month free with purchase of single plan. Visit choicehomewarranty.com for more details.
Life is full of surprises. Some wonderful, some not so much. But here's one thing you can control. Making sure your loved ones are protected if the unexpected happens. At easyplans.com, we make getting life insurance, well, easy. In just a few minutes, you can apply online and buy direct. No awkward phone calls, no confusing jargon, and no agent will contact you unless you request help. Just clear, affordable coverage, designed to fit your life and your budget. Fast approval, flexible plans, and unlike other online insurance sites, Easy Plans won't sell your information to others. So no endless phone calls and text messages. Whether you're just starting a family, buying a home, or thinking ahead, EasyPlans.com has you covered. EasyPlans.com. We make buying life insurance, well, easy.
America's News Update, I'm John Schaefer. The government shutdown is now in its fourth week, hitting millions of Americans. On Saturday, food assistance funding will run out for more than...
With SRN News, I'm Ron Taylor. President Trump has suggested the U.S. could carry out a friendly takeover of Cuba as tensions between Washington and Havana reach a new high. President Trump says that after decades, Cuba could be on the brink of change.
We've had a lot of years of dealing with Cuba. I've been hearing about Cuba since I'm a little boy, but they're in big trouble, and we could very well, something could, I think, very positive for the people that were expelled or worse from Cuba that live here. You know, we have people living here that want to go back to Cuba, and they're very happy with what's going on.
It's been 67 years since Fidel Castro took control of the island and instituted communism there. In a deposition, former President Bill Clinton saying he did nothing wrong, nor did President Trump, involving Jeffrey Epstein.
Former Secretary of State and former First Lady Hillary Clinton testified yesterday. James Comer is the committee chair.
Ms. Clinton deferred a lot of questions to her husband today. We already had a big portfolio of questions for him, and that increased yesterday.
Robert Garcia is the top Democrat on the committee. He wants to hear from President Trump.
He appears in the Epstein files next to Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell almost more than anybody else. So it's time for the president to answer questions about why files are missing from the DOJ, why there's been a White House cover-up.
Today's hearing is behind closed doors. I'm Ed Donahue.
President Trump says he's not happy with the latest talks on Iran's nuclear program, but has indicated he'll give the negotiators more time to reach a deal to avert another war in the Middle East. He spoke earlier today after U.S. envoys held another inconclusive round of indirect talks with Iran in Geneva. As American forces gather in the region, the president threatening military action if Iran does not agree to a far-reaching deal on its nuclear program, while Iran insists it has the right to enrich uranium for peaceful purposes. This is SRN News. Correspondent Michael Harrington says Christians continue to leave Syria.
According to the annual report from Global Christian Relief, quote, 2025 produced another sharp downturn. Syria, once home to well over 1 million Christians, saw a renewed wave of departures.
I don't. Joe, senior host, always a pleasure to have you with me. 855-REAL-JOE, 855-732-5563. Get involved, get engaged, be part of the solution. Love it when you are. So much appreciate the time you're spending with me here on the air, in the chat room, texting, tweeting, and truly being part of the conversation. And you need to be part of the conversation, seriously. Right? And mostly because I want you informed so you understand what's going on. Because with everything going on out there, you're getting bombarded with information. Find the people, find the places, find the shows that you trust the person, and get the info you need. Not that hard. Doesn't require, brain surgery. or to be a brain surgeon, I should say. 855-REAL-JOE, 855-732-5563. Get involved, get engaged, be part of the solution. All right, here we go. I got so much to get through, to push through, really. You're seeing the headlines about how many layoffs are coming with people. And everybody's freaking out. But I got to tell you something. Even everybody freaking out, they have to understand this had nothing to do with Trump. No, it really doesn't. And I'm not saying that as a quote-unquote Trump supporter. It has nothing to do with Trump. It has everything in the world to do with AI. And I told you guys, I'm not an AI fan. I haven't been since day one for many, many, many reasons. But if you think about this, just use the two of the brain cells that God gave you to work with. You've got AI coming in that's doing the research of 50 people in a matter of minutes. If you went to your research team and said, I need to know, I don't know, how many cows were transported from Maine to Florida, whatever, however stupid we can get, right, in 1983. AI can go get that information for you and put it together and let you have it. Now, yes, I understand there's times when it's not right. I got it. But my point more is, I don't need 15 researchers or 3 to figure that out. I don't have to pay their sick days. I mean, I love these holier-than-thou business owners. Let's just be honest about it. It's not just because it's faster and better. No. The reasoning behind it is real simple, real clear. They don't have to pay people. They can get 10 times the work done with like 95% less people. Well, why wouldn't you do that? Right? No, come on, really. Why wouldn't you do that? And that's what they're doing. And you're seeing it happening with all these companies that you thought were on your side. Right? Remember? And Google was the one that started some of this stuff with their whole, what a bunch of idiots, when their whole employee team came against them for supporting the U.S. military. Allowing them to, a way for them to store data. Right? Remember when they went out and strike? They had walkouts. They were trying to force they were trying to force Google not to work with the military. And basically they were like, go take a hike. Talking about billions of dollars. You can go take a hike. All of a sudden capitalism slapped them right in the face, didn't it? Now you got Facebook doing it. Apple. These high-tech companies that saw AI coming and understood what it was. Look, when computers first hit, it was a little slower because people weren't used to the technology. They were afraid of the technology. But many rightfully said, hey, look, we're done. This is going to replace us all. And I'm tired of hearing people say, well, Joe, you're an alarmist. Don't do that. That's not right. No. I'm not an alarmist. I'm a realist. You know, when it comes to accounting, for instance, do you realize that when computers came in, how much the accounting departments, how much, what do I want to say, how less resources they needed, human resources and otherwise, because it would do a lot of the work for them. I mean, think about it now. You have accounting packages for all intents and purposes for small businesses. If you do some simple data every week, right? On April 1st, you hit a button and bang, there's your tax returns. You don't have a CPA and 15 other people working on them. You get the whole thing in one shot. When you think about that. And they're usually pretty good, pretty accurate. So, no, I am not an AI fan. We have it on several products that we use to put the show out. I don't use it. And it's not because I'm worried that somebody's going to lose their job and do whatever. I don't have to keep going to check it. They have one product that will take bits and pieces of the show. Figure this one out. It will decide what moments in the show were exciting and put those out there. What do you think of that? Anyway, where do you want me to go with that? 855 Real Joe, 855-732-5563. Another pro-amnesty GOP guy. I don't know how they do this. He's running for Congress as a Republican for Texas in the 19th District. In the March 3rd primary, he said that on his podcast that his heart is in Mexico. That's an odd thing to say if you're running for an American seat, don't you think? Look, if you're in Congress, then your heart is with the Americans, with the U.S., period. Town Hall reported last month that Enrique once tweeted support for Representative Maria Salazar, her Dignity Act, an amnesty bill that would provide a path to citizenship for millions of illegal immigrants. He also supported the bipartisan Border Solution Act, which the Heritage Foundation said would simply increase the U.S. capacity for processing illegal aliens in order to release them into the interior of the country. Now look, our immigration system does suck. Okay, it takes forever for you to become a citizen. Even if you truly love this country, you busted hump, you got the money, you got the attorneys, you're doing it the right way, it can take you 10 years to become a citizen. That's wrong. I don't think that's right at all. If you come here the right way, you do it the right way, you come here for the right reasons, you should be allowed citizenship. And if not that, at least a temporary green card, a residency card. Everybody jumps right to citizenship, but there are other options available. I don't get it. So, even my mom carried a green card forever. Anyway, it's just... And then what about the people who've been waiting in the system? The people who've been waiting forever. A friend of mine, I just found out his wife is stuck in Iran. Why? Because they're an Iranian couple. He got a job here years ago. Went back and forth. Decided to become an American citizen. Loves this country. It's very obvious when you talk to him. And his wife, who's also Iranian, she was all the way through the process. Right? Just about to go for her very, very, very last interview. And because of all the stuff that's going on there in Iran, they're holding up, they were holding up all the applications. They weren't releasing anybody. Just amazing. So now he can't find her. But it took years. Years. It shouldn't have taken years for her to be here. Her husband was here. He never broke the law. He had a great job. Had a great job. We should make ways for people who really want to enhance this country to get in here. Anyway, after launching his campaign, Enrique deleted all his pro-amnesty tweets. Wow, why would he do that if he thought it was the right thing? On his podcast in December 2020, he discussed his Hispanic heritage, and he described how his grandparents live in Mexico, saying he travels there frequently and that his ties to the country are inseparable from his identity. We should be proud of saying that we're Latinos, arguing that Americans refusing not to understand my values and my culture is refusing to understand my story. No. You refusing to understand the American culture, live by the American culture, and assimilate shows you how much disrespect and disdain you have for us, the American people. Be back in a minute.
Right now, you can eliminate odors, mold, mildew, bacteria, and viruses in your home with the Eden Pure Thunderstorm Air Purifier. The Eden Pure Thunderstorm uses oxy technology that naturally sends out O3 molecules that seek out and destroy odors. The Thunderstorm doesn't mask or cover up bad smells, it eliminates them, leaving that fresh, clean smell, just like after a thunderstorm. The Thunderstorm is small, plugs right into the wall, and fits in the palm of your hand. Put one in your basement, bedroom, family room, kitchen, or anywhere you want clean, fresh air. It even includes a USB cord for your car or truck. Right now, save $200 on an Eden Pure Thunderstorm 3-pack for whole home protection. That's 3 units for under $200, a fraction of the cost compared to other air purifiers. Go to EdenPureDeals.com and use discount code USA3 to save $200. That's EdenPureDeals.com. Use USA and the number 3. Shipping is free.
Attention timeshare owners. Tired of the financial stress? Were you misled by the salesperson? Don't or can't use your timeshare anymore? If any of these apply to you, then you may qualify for timeshare cancellation and get the relief you need now. Timeshare Defense Attorneys is the #1 affordable fixed fee legal solution in the country with an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. That's certainly better than my grades. They even offer a 100% client satisfaction guarantee. Let one of their experienced lawyers evaluate your case and explain the process. If they take you as a client, they'll work on your case until it's resolved in your favor. Guaranteed. Expect great service and a close working relationship with your lawyer, keeping you informed every step of the way, protecting your rights, interests, and even your credit. It's that simple. Even a kid like me can understand it. The consultation is free. Call today.
800-875-1853. 800-875-1853. That's 800-875-1853.
Omaha Steaks is rewriting the book on burgers with an all-new handmade texture for the juiciest home-style burgers you've ever tasted. Their pure ground burgers are made from single cuts of real, aged Omaha steaks. These are truly steaks on a bun. Filet mignon, ribeye, New York strip, sirloin, and even brisket burgers. Now is the time to experience the exclusive Burger Perfection Flight for just $79.99. Go to omahasteaks.com and use promo code TREAT at checkout to get an extra $20 off your order plus free shipping. You'll get 4 of each pure ground burger so you can sample all the steak on a bun greatness. These burgers are crafted for a juicier, more tender experience, making your mouth water with every single bite. Don't wait. Go to omahasteaks.com. Use promo code TREAT at checkout and get $20 off the Burger Perfection Flight and discover your new burger obsession. Minimum order may be required.
Do you want to save money on your next flight? Then pick up the phone and call. That's right, call. Because the best prices are not online. They're with SmartFares. See, SmartFares has special deals with the airlines. When they have unsold seats, they use SmartFares to fill them. So you get airline tickets at crazy low prices. They have access to great prices and discounts at over 500 different airlines. Plus 300,000 hotels and rental car companies. Their prices are too low to publish online. With the extra money money you'll save, you can book another trip or treat yourself to dinner or shopping. So stop searching all of those travel sites to find the lowest price on your next flight. Let one of our SmartFares expert travel agents find the best price for you. Call SmartFares today and get ready to see the world with a fat wallet.
800-871-3291. 800-871-3291. 800-871-3291. That's 800-871-3291.
I've got a unique vacation idea for you that's right here in the United States. If you're ready for a vacation that's fun and downright affordable, listen up. It's driving distance for many of you, so no planes, no airline delays, no hassles. It's Branson, Missouri, the entertainment capital of the Midwest. Live music for everyone. Branson has 3 beautiful, enormous lakes, water attractions, live shows, great food, and tons of entertainment. It's a perfect vacation for you and your family, or if you're retired and you want to have a great time. And you can stay in Branson for as low as $99 a night. Please understand, this is not a timeshare offer. It's a real vacation for as little as $99 a night. We've got a free vacation guide we want to send you right now. All you have to do is call for complete details. Get your free Branson, Missouri guide right now by calling this number.
800-399-4215. 800-399-4215. 800-399-4215. That's 800-399-4215.
You know, you two girls have everything. You're tall and short and slim and stout and blonde and brunette. And that's just the kind of a girl I crave.
Oh yeah, what a night.
We are back at it again. Joe Messina, your host. Always a pleasure to have you with me. 855-REAL-JOE. 855-732-5563. Get involved. Get engaged. Be part of the solution. Always appreciate the time you're spending with me here on the air and in the chat room and texting and tweeting. And you know what I'm saying. Just getting involved. Truly understanding what's going on. So I got a letter from somebody. Well, a letter, email, whatever you want to call it. From someone who listens to the show and said, you know, I wanted to write you and let you know first. When you say it yourself, it's kind of weird, right? I love your show. I love listening to your show. And I thought I'd share some of my thoughts with you. Okay. So these are her words, not mine. I never dreamed that I'd have to face the prospect of not living in the United States of America. Well, at least not the one I've known all my life. I never wished to live anywhere else. This is my home. I was privileged to be born here, but today I woke up, and as I had my morning coffee, and I know many of you feel this way, I realized that everything's about to change. No matter how I vote, no matter what I say, you know, I say something evil has invaded our nation. And our lives are never going to be the same. I've been confused by the hostility of family and friends. I look at people I've known all my life. They're so hate-filled. They agree with opinions, they agree with opinions they never would express on their own. Isn't that interesting that she came up with this? I think I may have well entered the twilight zone. We've become a nation that has lost its collective mind. You can't justify this insanity. If a guy pretends to be a woman, you're required to pretend with him. Somehow it's un-American for a census count to see how many Americans are actually in America. Russians influencing our elections are bad, but illegals voting in our elections are good. It's cool for Joe Biden to blackmail the president of Ukraine, but it's an impeachable offense if Donald Trump inquires about it. Right? 20 is too young to drink a beer, but 18 is old enough to vote. People who never owned slaves should pay slavery reparations to people who've never been slaves. People who've never been to college should pay the debt of college students who took out huge loans for their own degrees. Immigrants with tuberculosis and polio are welcome, but you better be able to prove that your dog is vaccinated. You know, that's a great line. And it's so true. Anyway, Irish doctors and German engineers, they want to immigrate to the U.S. They got to go through a rigorous vetting process. But any illiterate gangbanger who jumps the southern fence are welcome. $5 billion for border security is too expensive. The American people can't afford it. But $1.5 trillion for free health care, not a problem. If you cheat to get into college, you go to prison. But if you cheat to get into the country, you go to college for free. You have free health care. You might even get a place to live. People say there's no such thing as gender or demanding a female president. Let that sink in. See how confused they are? We see other countries going socialist and collapsing, but it seems like a great plan to us. Some people are held responsible for things like before they were born. Other people are not held responsible for what they're doing right now. Criminals are caught and released to hurt more people. But stopping them is bad because it's a violation of their rights. Pointing out all this hypocrisy somehow makes us racist. Nothing makes sense anymore, she says. No values, no morals, no civility. People were dying of a Chinese virus, but it's a racist to refer to it as Chinese, even though it began in China in a Chinese lab. We're clearly living in an upside down world where right is wrong, wrong is right, where moral is immoral and immoral is moral, where good is evil and evil is good. We're killing murderers is wrong, but killing unborn babies isn't okay. Hey, wake up, America. Right? The great unsinkable ship that was the Titanic, we can kind of refer to it as America at this point. We've hit an iceberg. We're taking on water. We're sinking fast. And you better get off your butt to clean it up. You know, seriously. And it won't, and you know that it won't stop anytime soon. All these things that our kids were taught that you know today are a lie and wrong. Right? You know, when... You know, it's really crazy that our kids, it's wrong all the way around, but our kids don't know our basic history. They really don't know. And I can prove it. I can play clip after clip after clip after clip. Like basic history facts supporting the party of the hooded people. Remember them, the hooded people? It's like, you know, they were founded by the Democrat Party. That's right. Right? And liberals, again, you've never learned this. They'll never tell you this. You do know the Republican Party was established as an anti-slavery party. Did you know that? And it was started by black men and abolitionists. Did you know that? The Republican Party gave us every single civil rights amendment, every legislature that we have today. Do you know that even up to 1964, the Republicans are responsible for breaking the filibuster that the Democrats initiated to block the Civil Rights Act? Right? You do realize, and you're going to hear this one over and over and over again, but don't let them play you. You do realize there was no party switch. That's right. They claimed the party switched. Right? No party switch votes. So do you know that black people traditionally have always been Republican? It's a party that was founded by black men. They're responsible for legislation through Reconstruction. She's cooking for people that are going to say, hey, the party switched again. You know, you hear this stuff all the time. That's why you need to be informed so you can look at them and go, no, they never, first of all, they never switched in the first place, so they couldn't switch back. You know, hello. Really. So anyway, people are going to say that, oh, the party switched again. No. The party did not switch again in 1964. The Republicans broke the filibuster to give us Civil Rights Act in 1964. Right? Well, people switched. Tell me the Democrats, right, that switched. In reality, Democrats, Joe Biden, friends with Robert Byrd, remember him? a known Republican man who used to wear a white hood. He was a KKK recruiter. I don't know why they have this revisionist history out there. Well, they have to have it. Otherwise, they can't, well, they would lie about it, but they can't explain away their craziness. I even saw a page where there were a lot of you, it was predominantly black Americans having a chat. They were all like, yeah, we're conservative. We've always been conservative. Okay, so now you're getting somewhere. Our grandparents, our parents, all conservative. He said, when I say conservative, I mean just like traditional values, predominantly Christian values. Family, God, country. Preserving traditional values. Ooh. See, you can't say that to a lib. When you talk about traditional values, their eyes start to twitch. Traditional Christian values is what conservatism is based on. Who's going to tell them? Who's going to tell them? Because it ain't going to be the schools. It isn't the education system. Who's going to tell them that you're not switching to Republican? If you did vote Republican, you'd just be returning to the party. That's all. Isn't that amazing, though, that they don't know their own history? So for clarity, no. There was no party switch. I'm going to say that a million times over. Let me do it again. There was no party switch. You liberals you ran off to vote like a black woman. Here's a black woman that you should listen to. I can't play the clip for you, but man, she is all over it. And many, many, many black females now are going, wait a minute, this isn't helping my kids. This isn't helping my family. And I'm glad it started. Truly, it's about time they start to see it. 855 Real Joe, 855-732-5. I'm just laughing because this stuff is a lot easier than people think it is to get the information you need, especially now. And you get it. I do it. I get it 2 or 3 different places. I put it together. And for a legislator running for office to say my heart's with Mexico, you're running for a U.S. seat? Yeah. You've got some mental deficiencies. I'll leave it at that. We're about done here. I'm going to enjoy the weekend. I hope you do too. Don't do anything stupid. Stay safe. Don't put yourself in harm's way. And I want you back here with me on Monday. Joe Messina, your host. God bless, guys. I really do appreciate your time with me. I realize it's precious. Time is short, and you decide to spend it with me. All right, have a great weekend. Eat well.